Well, I'm still a little weak from 2 nights of watching 20 Democrat hopefuls trying to stand out in the debates. It was a tough slog, and though I did lapse in and out of a coma from time to time, one thing is clear to me now. Kamala Harris is in it to win it. She doesn't have to stand out. She knows that the Democrats want so badly to knock out the orange man with a black woman that she doesn't even really have to ass-kiss trans people. She does have to pretend to be a socialist until further notice, but it's okay for her to jump out ahead and terminate the frontrunner. Joe Biden is in so much trouble. You remember a couple of weeks ago he was talking about the loss of civility on Capitol Hill and how much better it used to be? As an example, he mentioned James Eastland and Herman Talmadge, notorious segregationists. He talked about how even when they disagreed, the younger Joe Biden could work with men like this and get things done. This came at a time when the Democrat debates were just around the corner. The members of the circular firing squad were already organizing their attack points, and Joe Biden, the poster boy for old white man, brags about how well he got along with segregationists. Already the candidates of color had been warming up their race cards with a renewed call for reparations, and Joe hands that to them? In what universe would Kamala Harris and Cory Booker not jump on this as a tool to hijack the lead away from Biden? Not in the Democratic universe of identity politics and victimology, that's for sure. The only question was whether Joe would be hit by Harris and Booker or just one of them. Maybe he'd get lucky and Harris and Booker would both be on stage at one of the two debates and Joe at the other. No. No way the Demos would put both their black candidates on the same night and have no black candidate on the other night. Are you kidding? That was never going to happen. Joe would have to face at least one of the two reparations candidates, and the string pullers made sure to give Harris that little job. Here she is putting the hurt on Joe.
Growing up, my sister and I had to deal with the neighbor who told us her parents couldn't play with us because we were black. And I will say also that in this campaign, we've also heard, and I'm going to now direct this at Vice President Biden, I do not believe you are a racist. And I agree with you when you commit yourself to the importance of finding common ground. But I also believe, and it's personal, and I was actually it was hurtful to hear you talk about the reputations of two United States senators who built their reputations and career on the segregation of race in this country. And it was not only that, but you also worked with them to oppose busing. And, you know, there was a little girl in California who was part of the second class to integrate her public schools. And she was bused to school every day. And that little girl was me.
Wow, good job, Cam. You were a regular Rosa Parks in first grade. The only problem is that Berkeley schools were never segregated. Yes, young Kamala was bused to Thousand Oaks Elementary School for the 2 years that she attended school in Berkeley. But that was an integration effort that had nothing to do with any sort of enforced segregation. Kids went to the schools closest to their homes. And some schools were pretty much all white or all black, according to the makeup of neighborhoods, just like they are today. Kamala Harris was bused, but she was not one of the first black students to attend that school. According to CNN, there were 15 black students there the year before busing began. A minority to be sure, but we weren't dealing with Jim Crow laws in Northern California. How many liberal Democrats who watch the debates will bother to research that? How many young Democrats will even know that busing happened well after the Civil Rights Act and was a remedial attempt at integrating schools that, in most cases, had been segregated only by the living choices of the students' parents? To look at Kamala, voice trembling, anger barely contained, you'd think that she'd been one of the Little Rock Nine, escorted by National Guard troops while angry white racists tried to blockade the school. Yeah, not so much. The point is that Harris was making her move Thursday night. Her gloves are off. She intends to eliminate Joe Biden as soon as possible. She did something even bolder earlier in the debate. She risked Obama's endorsement by telling the truth about his deportation of illegal aliens. Here she is.
I will say, no, absolutely not. They should not be deported. And I actually, this was one of the very few issues with which I disagreed with the administration, with whom I otherwise had a great relationship and a great deal of respect. But on the secure communities issue, I was Attorney General of California. I led the second largest Department of Justice in the United States, second only to the United States Department of Justice in a state of 40 million people. And on this issue, I disagreed with my president because the policy was to allow deportation of people who, by ICE's own definition, were non-criminals. So as Attorney General and the Chief Law Officer of the state of California, I issued a directive to the sheriffs of my state that they did not have to comply with detainers.
Harris threw Obama under the bus for the sole purpose of getting Joe under that bus with him. She figures that she'll be able to butt-kiss Obama later. And the Democrats hate Trump so much and want the first black woman in the White House so bad that they will all agree to forget that Biden had nothing to do with those deportations and that the first black man in the Oval Office had everything to do with them. Here's how the Cato Institute's immigration expert, Alex Noresta, puts it. This is a tweet from last week. Quote, President Obama earned the nickname Deporter-in-Chief. From 2009 to 2016, Obama's administration deported 1,242,286 people from the interior of the U.S. That does not include the 1,507,220 border removals during that same period. So, unquote. So, Obama deported nearly 3 million illegal immigrants. I don't recall the outcry from Kamala Harris at that time. Apparently, she just quietly defied Obama's orders. Anyway, this is my primary takeaway from the first round of the debates. Harris is back on track. She's as serious as a heart attack, and once she finishes Biden off, she'll probably set her sights on Booker. We already had a black dude, Corey. Get out of the way, man. Kamala showed us that she can bring the street fight when the chips are down. I'm guessing that the rest of the candidates know that once Biden is out of the way, she'll go after them one by one. Hey, Trump got nothing on homegirl when it comes to throwing down. You might say that black is the new orange. The Democrats are not looking for leadership so much as a person who can diffuse Donald Trump's rough-and-tumble debate style. Somebody who will hit him hard and be of a group that he can't counterpunch without looking like a bully. She's a woman, she's a minority, and she's short. The woman is only 5'2". Trump will tower over her, no pun intended. It's going to be very hard for the president to deal with this person in the debates. Chairs. The presidential request sit-down debates. The twist is that all of the other candidates will know by now that they too will have to go after Biden. They will have to demonstrate that they can take on Trump just like Harris. They can't attack Bernie or Liz yet because they haven't figured out how to fix the slide into socialism. Democrats are living to regret giving children the vote. Bernie and Liz are safe for now. They have a force field around them. But Harris is stuck back in the pack and needs a chunk of voters without attacking Bernie and Liz and pissing off the commies. Her only play is to wipe out Biden, make him quit, and free up that 30% of likely voters. Obviously, she's done the math. I'll talk about the other candidates later, but I wanted to mention that clean-cut young gay man from Indiana with the weird last name. He just might get a call from Harris in the next few weeks. My instinct when Beto entered the race and immediately raised $6 million was that he was actually running for vice president under Kamala Harris. I thought he would give her some border cred being a Texan from El Paso who speaks Spanish. But she doesn't really need that given her own history of turning California into the sanctuary state. So, yeah, I kind of forgot about that. And we didn't have Mayor Pete back then. This dude is good. So let me risk another foolish prediction. Harris will offer Buttigieg the VP slot, and then the demos will have black, female, and gay on the same ticket. All she'll need is a Hispanic chief of staff who's converting to Islam, and they'll be ready to rumble. So mark my words on that. If I'm as wrong about this as I was about Beto, well, you'll all have fun telling me about it now, won't you? Thanks for watching. If you like this video, subscribe to our channel and then click the little bell to get notifications.